as US warships continue to fire missiles at Iranian targets. This is the latest video released by the Pentagon. The confusion surrounding this conflict is growing by the day. For as the military is stepping up attacks,
must be something big happening, huh?
The president has been claiming that diplomacy is making great strides, suggesting that military success and negotiations are going hand in hand.
They have no Navy left. They have no Air Force left. They have no anti-aircraft equipment left, no radar left, no leaders left. The leaders are all gone. Nobody knows who to talk to. But we're actually talking to the right people, and they want to make a deal so badly. You have no idea how badly they want to make a deal.
And then cryptically, the president said he possessed secret proof of Iran's cooperation.
They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. It was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people.
Is that nuclear related?
No, it wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related.
That civilians and innocents are being injured and killed in this war is not in doubt. Today, rescue workers in Tehran battle through debris to locate the wounded, including the very youngest.
Do we agree he's done a good job?
But the US Secretary of War, encapsulating this idea of escalating to de-escalate, said bombing was the path to peace, and he praised Trump's strategy.
He unties their hands to actually go out and close with and destroy the enemy as viciously as possible from moment one. And that's why we see ourselves as part of this negotiation as well. We negotiate with bombs.
But for all that bravado, nearly a month in, and Iran is still showing the ability to launch missiles. Tel Aviv was struck this morning after failed intercepts, and there was extensive damage. The Pentagon has tonight mobilized the 82nd Airborne Division, seen here on a recent exercise, a hint of what may lie ahead if diplomacy fails. Iran's Karg Island is the obvious target for airborne forces.
It's something that will have to be carefully thought of.
And experts say the Pentagon will be giving the commander-in-chief clear advice.
If you were the president and I was your chief military strategist, I would ask you, Mr. President, what are you prepared to do? And if you said, I want to win the war, I'd say you take that island.
As the skies over Israel tonight light up from further ballistic missiles and interceptors, never has the next stage in this conflict seemed less predictable.
Well, the controversy and confusion over President Trump's pronouncement about the war have only been heightened by claims of insider trading, that is. Take a look at this graph, which shows the volume of trades on the oil markets. The big peak is when Donald Trump wrote on social media yesterday that strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure would be suspended for 5 days. Traders reacted by selling as oil prices fell. But look closely to the left, a small but significant spike some 13 minutes before the announcement. That's someone selling huge amounts of oil before Trump's post, which brought those oil prices tumbling. And then take a look at US share prices. The big spike shows traders buying up shares after Trump's post as prices started to rise. Well, again, to the left, a smaller spike. Some, yes, you guessed it, 13 minutes earlier. That's someone buying $500 million worth of shares ahead of the announcement. A huge bet, which clearly paid off. Let's talk to Robert about all this. Robert, look, on the face of it, I mean, maybe someone got extraordinarily lucky, but this just looks incredibly suspicious. And at a time when so many people are worried about their household finances, it's kind of grotesque, is it not?
Well, the White House, Tom, is vehemently denying any allegation of insider trading, saying it's baseless and irresponsible reporting. It wouldn't be tolerated in the White House. But critics essentially say, look, this is the result of an intersection of a president who profits from holding office and a nation that is at war, where there are by definition, precipitous movements in the markets and where insider political or military information can lead to vast profits. And those same critics point to the whole sort of pay-to-play environment of this White House with Trump's cryptocurrency ventures, with the use of sort of Trump merchandise, from Bibles to watches, even from the acceptance of a gift of an Air Force One from the state of Qatar. So, look, while the Trump White House insists it's only considering the interests of the American people, there are plenty of others in this town who consider ethics as their kind of absolute expertise, who beg to differ.
OK, Robert, thank you very much indeed. Well, let's join Emma, who's in Beirut. Emma, insofar as you can make head nor tail of what President Trump's been saying today, I couldn't. The whole business of the gift and who gave it and what it was and what it meant was pretty puzzling. But what did you make of it in the round? Do you feel like there is some substance to these talks or not really?
I have to say, it doesn't feel like there's a huge degree of substance. We haven't moved on much since last night when, you know, President Trump was saying that there was going to be talks, that things had been agreed, and then all those sort of interlocutors who were the friendly nations in between the two, as well as Iran, were saying, no, it's not that far down the road. There have been messages passed, and that seems to be where it still is tonight. And I think what was striking listening to President Trump when he was making that address this evening was that the things that he was saying, that he was pleased that they'd found some kind of agreement on, which was fundamentally no nuclear weapon in the possession of Iran, is something that Iran was saying before either of these wars, that was not what they were seeking and that they were happy to proceed with talks on that basis. We're now 2 wars on. Iran are being asked to go back to the negotiating table and are obviously speaking about this with great trepidation because they have seen before what happens. As they said after the last war back in June of last year, we were at the negotiating table when they bombed the negotiating table. Well, that's exactly what happened just a few weeks ago. So any chance of successful talks seems extremely remote, to be perfectly honest.